My husband sabotaged every job interview because I should just stay home and start a family. I sabotaged our marriage instead. Just give me a second to fix this router thing. Tom called from the hallway while my potential boss waited on Zoom with that frozen smile people get when connection issues happen. This was the third time in 2 months that our internet crashed exactly when I had important video calls scheduled. The marketing director from the tech company I'd been trying to get into for 6 months was staring at a black screen where my face used to be. I grabbed my phone to hotspot, but Tom had changed the password on my data plan again because he managed all our accounts to simplify things. By the time I figured out how to call back through my laptop's terrible microphone, the interview was over. The director's assistant sent an email saying they'd moved forward with other candidates who could maintain professional communication standards. Tom came back into the room carrying the router with its unplugged power cord. These things overheat when you use video for too long. You should really take breaks between your calls. He plugged it back in, and the Wi-Fi symbol returned to my screen like nothing happened. I started keeping a list after that. February 3rd at 2:15, the internet died during my interview with the consulting firm. February 19th at 11:30, it happened with the nonprofit. March 5th at 4, it was the startup that actually wanted to pay me more than Tom made. Every single time he had a reason. Router overheating, system updates, maintenance from the provider. He'd come fix it after just enough time had passed for the interviewer to hang up. Maybe these online interviews aren't working out because you're meant to focus on the house. Tom said one night over dinner he expected me to cook even though I'd spent all day applying for jobs. We could start that family we talked about. We'd never talked about it. He talked and I tried to change the subject, but the internet kept dying. I borrowed my friend Amy's laptop without telling Tom and scheduled an interview at her apartment. Got the job. Senior analyst at a financial firm downtown. $60,000 more than what I used to make before Tom convinced me to quit during lockdown. When I told him I'd gotten a position, his face did this thing where he smiled but his eyes stayed flat. How did you manage that when our internet's been so unreliable? That's when I knew he knew that I knew. I interviewed in person. I lied to see what he'd say. Oh good, that's better anyway. When do you start? He was already planning something. I could tell by how his fingers drummed on the table. My start date was in 2 weeks. The night before my first day, the router disappeared completely. Weird, Tom said, checking all the closets like he hadn't been the one to hide it. Must be the company doing upgrades. I'll call them tomorrow. Tomorrow when I'd miss my first day of remote onboarding. That's okay, the office wants me in person anyway. Another lie, but his face changed again. The router reappeared plugged in by morning. 3 days into the job, Tom started showing up at my home office door every 20 minutes. Just checking if you need anything. Brought you water. Is that your boss? He sounds demanding. You sure you want to work for people who expect you to be available all day? Then he started scheduling things during my work hours. Dentist appointments he'd made for me without asking. Lunch with his mother who suddenly needed to see me urgently. Home repairs that required me to be present. Tell them you have a family emergency, he'd say standing in my doorway while I was clearly on camera. Family comes first, right? My boss started noticing. Is everything okay at home? You seem distracted lately. Tom heard that through the door and came in immediately. Hi, you must be Richard, I'm the husband. Just wanted to say thanks for being flexible with my wife's schedule. She's got a lot on her plate at home. My boss looked confused because I'd never mentioned needing flexibility. After that call, Tom sat on my desk. I don't think this job appreciates what you bring. You seemed happier before. Before when I was trapped in this house with no money of my own, watching him control every account and password and decision. I'm keeping the job, Tom. He stood up slowly. We'll see about that. The next morning, my work laptop wouldn't connect to anything. Tom had changed the Wi-Fi password and wouldn't tell me what it was. I think we need to talk about whether this job is right for our marriage, he said, holding the router's power cord like a leash. You've been so distant since you started. Maybe if you take a break, we can work on us. I went to Amy's house and worked from there. When I came home, Tom had printed out articles about women who ruined their marriages for careers and left them on my desk. Then he called my boss from my phone while I was in the shower and tried to quit for me. Richard called me on my work phone confused. Your husband just said you're resigning for personal reasons? That's when I realized Tom had been planning this all along. Every unplugged router, every interrupted interview, every manufactured crisis was him trying to keep me in this house financially dependent on him forever. Tom's been calling from different numbers because I blocked his. Each voicemail says the same thing. You're overreacting. Come home so we can discuss this like adults. But I finally have a job. I finally have my own money. And I finally understand that love shouldn't require you to disappear.